Hello YouTube, this is just a quick video about a set of 8 Wallace and Gromit figures released in 1989 by a company called Vivid Imaginations. They're a nice small size and also they're really good quality, so they're perfect for collectors. I've always loved stop motion animation since I was a kid, and I grew up watching things like Morph on telly. The type of animation where they use plasticine is known as Claymation, and it's become really widely known because of Nick Park. And Nick Park actually used to live next door to my uncle in Bristol, which is pretty cool. I really love collecting PVC plastic figures like these because they just capture the figure in a really small object. They're also normally painted with bright colours, or they are themselves brightly coloured plastic, and they just look really great together on a shelf. In a second I'll pick them up individually and you'll get a better idea of the size of them, and we can have a look at their details one by one. So we'll start off with Grommet, the character that says so much just by moving his eyebrows. So you can see he really is quite small, but they've captured the details perfectly, and he's in a really great pose, like it's a real typical Grommet pose. Then they've gone for 2 different Wallace poses, and I really like the 2 they've gone for because this one's got his mouth closed like he's going ooh, and his hands as well, like stretched out in front of him, and he's got his little blue overalls. Then the next Wallace figure is in his usual like little green cardigan and his brown trousers with his great big grin and his arms really widely stretched. Another perfect kind of pose for him. Okay, so next up we've got Wenderine, and she's standing in a brightly coloured yellow jumper. Again, in a very typical pose. This is how I always kind of think of her when I think of her face and everything, with her little funny haircut. So again, just looks really great with all the others. Next we've got Shaun the Sheep, who of course became famous in his own right after a movie was made about him and TV series as well. Another typically perfect pose for him, and wearing his famous jumper as well. That red zigzag is so distinctive. Next we come to the evil penguin, who's called Feathers McGraw. One of the most quietly sinister characters in animation of all time. It's so nice that they chose not to put the red glove on his head. Then we've got another baddie character who's Preston the dog. Really menacing looking with his underbite and his spiky collar and cuffs. Then finally, in this set of 8, we've got Wallace's invention, the wrong trousers. So nice green colour, you've got that really kind of interesting shape of the sort of pneumatic legs going on, and then nice green shoes as well at the bottom. In a little bit I'll show you what these look like when they came in their original packets, just to give you an idea, because there were different types of packaging that were done for these. I've collected loads of other small PVC figures over the years, things like Smurfs, Snorks, California Raisins, Tang Trio, Asterix, Dungeons and Dragons, Dogtanian, Danger Mouse, Fraggle Rock, Muppets, Sesame Street, Peanuts, Garfield, Ren and Stimpy, Beavis and Butthead, South Park and Simpsons. I'll show you those in other videos. Right, I try not to collect things in packets just because it takes up more space, but if I was going to, I would go for this kind of packaging. They just look really nice laid out like this. Obviously there was this set of 4 and then there was another set of 4. And this is what the back of the packet looks like, which is great because it's got little photographs of all of the 8 figures, and also it shows the Playhouse set that you could buy at the same time. This is just a close-up of a bit of the back of that packet, and you can see there it says Wallace and Gromit Limited 1989, member of the Aardman Animations Group, and then down the bottom there it says manufactured by Vivid Imaginations Limited. Okay, this was the other way they were available, just in these boxes. Again, just 4 in each box. It's more clear actually when they're in the boxes that 4 of the characters are from A Close Shave, and then the other 4 are from The Wrong Trousers. There were another set of 5 figures here. These were released by Typhoo Tea, but these were a lot later in the 90s. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Check out my other 80s vintage toy videos if you get a chance. There's sure to be a lot. If you grew up in the 80s like I did, there'll be loads that you recognise if you want a bit of a nostalgia trip. Hit subscribe to see anything that I post up in the future. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.